Everyone. Have you ever wondered why English textbook in Pakistan don't just teach language, but also quietly shape the way we think, how we believe, and even how we see the world? Behind every story, every exercise, and every passage, there are hidden messages of power and ideology. In today's lecture, we will explore how power and ideologies are manifested, how they are constructed in English textbooks in Pakistan. So, today, through the lens of critical discourse analysis, we will uncover how textbooks are not neutral at all, powerful instrument that pass on cultural values, social hierarchies, and even political agendas. So let's decode the text and discover what really being taught between the line. So ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Discuss and Discover with Dr. Imran. Introduction. Today, we will explore a fascinating and sometimes controversial topic. It's not like a simple and a plain topic we're going to discuss today. Sometimes it is controversial one. How? Because we are exploring, we are digging out power and ideologies manifested in English textbook in Pakistan. So power and ideology in English textbook in Pakistan, at first glance, textbook may seem neutral, objective, and simply tools for teaching grammar and vocabulary. This also happened with me when I was a school student and even a college student. So I thought that I learn grammar, I learn structure of English grammar, and I'm learning vocabulary. But this isn't at all. There is a hidden agenda behind these English textbook in Pakistan. But if we look closely, textbooks are never just books. Then what are they? They are carriers of ideologies, culture values, and power structures. So, as it is said that language is not an empty box, right? So, the same is case here that the textbook, English textbook in Pakistan, they are the carriers of what? Of ideologies, of cultural values, and power structures. Where? In the textbooks, right? So, it simply means that these textbook in Pakistan, they shape the mind of the students by creating, by constructing ideologies, right? And culture values, how to shape and reshape the minds of the students. So, as Michel Foucault once said, knowledge is not innocent, it is always entangled with power. So, whenever knowledge is given to you, so behind the knowledge, there are some powerful authorities, right? Power is there. So here, in case of power, we mean that state machinery is there, government is there. It's very much powerful. So the knowledge that is given to you, so behind the knowledge, there is power. And the power structure knowledge to you according to their wishes, according to their willing, what they want. So let's see how this plays out in Pakistani context. It's not just in Pakistan, but everywhere around the world, we see that ideologies are constructed, right? Power relations are constructed. Where? In the textbook. But here we are focusing on Pakistani English textbooks. Textbooks as site of power. Textbooks are state control narratives. So, what the state wants, their narrative that is implemented through textbook. to the students, because you're learning at school level, college level, and university level. So these narratives are given to the teachers, right? Or in the syllabus, in the curriculum, by who? By state. So these textbooks are state-controlled narratives. In Pakistan, the Ministry of Education and Provincial Textbook Board regulate contents. So the contents you study at school, college, or university, they are regulated. They are structured by who? By the Provincial Textbook Board regulate authority. Fine. So this means that textbooks often reflect official ideology, nationalism, religious values, and state-sanctioned history. This is very important, right? That the textbook in Pakistan, which are in the control of the state, right? Or state narrative is there. So you are taught what? Official ideology of what? Of the state. And nationalism, how to be a patriotic person. And religious values, how to make you a good religious and pious persons. And state sanctioned history. Okay, so you see that all history is not taught to you, but the history is sanctioned by the state. With the permission of the state, what history is to be taught and what is not to be taught, what passages are to be included and what passages are to be excluded, right? For example, in Punjab English textbook for grade 9, lesson 1, the savior of mankind, the focus is on religious reverence and obedience and presenting a unifying but singular ideological narrative. We see that a single ideological narrative in the first lesson of the 9 textbook in Punjab, and that's name is the savior of mankind. Excuse me. Similarly, that KP Grade 10 book, English textbook, we see features Iqbal message to the youth where patriotisms and sacrifice are central themes. How to make you a patriotic citizen of Pakistan, and how to tell you, okay, that what are sacrifices. So these are the central theme of this lesson. So this shows how power operates. Those in authority decide which stories to tell and which to silence. So all the stories are not told to you, but there will be censorship. The stories what the state wants will be presented to you, and the story what the state doesn't want will be excluded from the curriculum, from the textbooks, right? Now, second, ideology hidden in language. How English textbook do not only teach grammar, they also teach students how to see the world, right? How? For example, choice of text stories often highlight patriotism, obedience, and moral lesson. This is okay that how to see the world. These textbooks tell you how to see the world. And then they gave you some choice of texts. Stories often highlight that if you are a patriotic person, so you will get rewards, right? And you will be deal, okay, differently by the state. And if you are an obedient person, obedience is taught to you. Similarly, some moral lessons are taught to you. So, further on, gender roles, men are frequently portrayed as leaders, soldiers, and breadwinners, right? It is taught to the students, okay, male or female, that male are the breadwinners for you, and male are the soldiers, because they are being portrayed as brave and they are portrayed as leaders, while women are often mothers, teachers, or caregivers. So, whenever we see that the role of women in these textbooks, so we see that they will be caregivers. right? They will be teachers and they will be mothers. They won't be shown as leader, they won't be shown as soldiers, they won't be shown as bread winners. So these are ideologies which are constructed, which have been constructed, which are constructed, and which will be constructed in the future also. So class division, we see that elite or urban lifestyle are often glorified, while rural life is shown as backward or in need of development. So these are also ideology, right? We see there'll be no electricity in the rural life. We see there'll be no hospital in the rural life. We see there'll be no healthcare facilities, road, infrastructure, etc. And these all facilities will be shown where in urban life. So these are also ideologies. For example, that in Sindh English textbook for class 7, the lesson are women heroes only highlights Fatima Jinnah and A.R. Kardar's motherly values, right? And portraying women as supporting figures. If they are heroes, still they have been shown as supporting figures rather than leaders in their own right. Because all the time it is told to us, okay, that Fatima Jinnah all the time supported her brother Qaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Similarly, that in Federal English Reader Grade 8 stories like The Kite's Visions and Our depicts the ideal student as one who is obedient and patriotic, but never rebellious or questioning. So it means, okay, that the critical thinking of the students are murdered, suppressed. So if you ask the student to be obedient and to be patriotic, the students will never ask question, right? They will never rebel what is wrong because you are teaching them how to be obedient and how to be patriotic person. So this shapes student to become docile citizens rather than active thinkers, to be critical thinkers. Number 3, English as a language of power. We cannot ignore the language itself, that is English. English is a colonial legacy because colonial masters left this legacy for us, that is English language, but also a symbol of modernity and progress and success. On the one hand, it is told to us that it's not our language, it is the language of our master, it's colonial legacy. But on the other hand, it is told to us it's a symbol of modernity. If you speak English, so you're a modern person. It's a symbol of progress and a symbol of success. So, mastery of English often determines access to good jobs. It is told to you that if you're master in English, so you will have access to good jobs, higher education, and social mobility. So at the same time, textbooks may send mixed messages, celebrating Urdu as national identity while glorifying English as the key to success. It's something mixed, right? So you become you are passing through the factor of ambivalence. You become ambivalence. What to do, right? Whether you should love your national identity, Urdu, or you should learn English, which is the gateway of success and gaining jobs. For example, there in Punjab English textbook class 10 unit, the companions, the text, the champion, sorry. The text celebrates international sports figure and English medium schooling, suggesting that global recognition and success come with English fluency. Yet passages also remind students that Urdu is their national soul, creating a tension between languages. So a conflicting issue is there. Thus, English textbooks reproduce the power hierarchy between languages. Number 4, religion, morality, and ideology. Pakistani English textbook often weave Islamic values into stories, exercise, and moral lesson. In Pakistan, Christians also live, Jews also live, Hindus also live, right? So many different religion of people are living in Pakistan. But in exercises or in stories, we see that moral lessons will be centered toward what? Toward Islam. So while this strengthens a sense of identity, it can sometimes exclude or marginalize non-Muslim voices in the country. So then how non-Muslim will be patriotic to Pakistan if you exclude them, if you marginalize them. So ideology here is about presenting a single version of morality and culture as ideal, but what about other values, other morality which exist in other religions? Because all religions tell us morality, all religion tell us some positive culture, no religion tell us something negative. Example in KP grade 9 English textbook lesson, the role of women in Pakistan movement, the good Muslim girl is described as modest, obedient, and patriotic. Non-Muslim women leader are secular, uh, perspective are absent, right? So we can see that non-Muslim women leader or secular perspective are absent. Only a Muslim perspective is there. Similarly, Punjab English reader class 7 includes the moral tale, the farmer and the king, emphasizing patience, prayers, and obedience as virtues, but leaving no space for critical questioning. So this shows how textbook reproduce dominant ideology while silencing what? Diversity. So we can't find diversity, we can't find critical thinking because it has been stopped. The hidden curriculum. What is not included in textbook is just as important as what is included. So what is not, you have to focus, okay, that what is missing out, what is included and what is excluded. So what is excluded, you have to focus on that also. Critical thinking is often missing. Students are asked to memorize, not question. And diversity, regional, ethnic, gender, linguistic is under underrepresented. So social issues like poverty, gender inequality, or climate change are rarely framed critically. You are asked, okay, it's the act of God. If we see any like disaster in the country, it is told to us it's the act of God because you're not a morally good person. That's why it's happening. But they do not tell us, okay, what are the major causes behind this climate change or calamity, or we can say that, okay, destructions in the country. So, for example, in English, in Federal English textbook for class 9, a lesson on poverty simply instructs students we should help the needy. So, why should we need the needy? This is told to the student. It does not explore the systematic cause of poverty. That why people are suffering from this sin, poverty. They are just told that we need to help the poor people, but they are not told the causes behind this poverty, unemployment, or corruption. Likewise, in English textbook class 10 describe rural life as simple and happy without acknowledging hardship like lack of healthcare or education. So these things are not told to the student. That what are the problems or the hurdles these people who are living in rural areas, in villages, they are facing. So this hidden curriculum keep power structures unchallenged. Then nobody comes and challenge this power relation. Number 6, globalization and new challenges. In the 21st century, Pakistan faces global media, technology, and new ideology. So, are English textbook adapting to new realities? Do they prepare students for global citizenship or just reproduce old ideologies? These are the questions which need to be raised, and these are the questions which need to be answered. Example in Punjab English textbook class 10 unit 10, the world today. So global issues like pollution and climate change are mentioned, but the solutions are framed, sorry, solution are framed as praying to God. It's act of God, praying to God to save us. But an individual moral reform is there rather than collecting critical or scientific action what to do, how to solve the problem. Right? This is not told to them. So why does it matter? You may ask, why should we care about ideology in textbook? Because textbooks shape the mind of millions of young Pakistani every year, right? And these textbooks told them how to see the world, how to think, how to be a patriotic person, what are the cultural values, religious values, right? And you see that what are gender role. So they influence how students see themselves, their country, and the world, but they do not let the students to critically think. So they can either reinforce inequality or open doors to critical thoughts and empowerment. So, conclusions, we can say that English textbook in Pakistan are not neutral. They are site of power where ideology, language, religion, class, and gender are carefully packed. As students, teachers, and researchers, our task is to read critically. Ask who is being represented and who is being silent. This is very important question. You have to ask that who is being represented and who is being silent. Whose voice is there and whose voice is absent. Ask whose values are being promoted and whose are being ignored. So, what is excluded, you have to focus on that also. Only then can we turn textbook from tools of dominations into a tools of liberations and critical learning. Otherwise, not. As is very important, as Paulo Freire reminds us in Pedagogy of the Oppressed, education can never be neutral. This is very important. Education can never be neutral. It either functions as an instrument of conformity or becomes their practice of freedom. So, this was all about today's lecture, and we will have more lectures relevant to the same topic in future. Please do provide your valuable comment about today's lecture. Thank you so much.